Good morning and welcome to another episode of Java with Janine. And if you're wondering where I am today, I'm actually in Oregon with my parents, taking care of a lot of things that don't get taken care of until I come home. And I'm actually in my dad's little office that he created for himself after he retired at the ripe old age of 81. And this is his kind of scare wall of all the plaques, et cetera, that he earned over those years. He's having a little bit of a hard time letting go of all this. Of all that, and understandably. But today I wanted to talk with you about whether or not you feel like a genius, because apparently pundits and a few others do feel like geniuses from the returns last year. So March 23rd was the anniversary of the 1-year anniversary, essentially, of the bottom of the Dow. When the market tanked last year, in the first day it tanked 4,000 points. If you recall, I had emails going out to everybody, and I had emails going out every day that week. By the time the end of the week came is when we got information for our clients from different money managers, which I thought was kind of funny because I was able to act more quickly. But the conundrum was, what's going to happen in the market? What's going to happen? Is it going to go down further? Is it going to go back up? And no one predicted that it would only take a year for the market to come back. In fact, from that bottom point, the Dow's return was 76%, which is huge. So those folks who moved to a different portfolio, or they moved to they happened to have some cash and they put the cash in and put the money in and invested it at that point in time, right around that time frame, through probably April 2nd even, you had huge returns last year. And here's the important point. That's only ever happened, that specific huge return like that has only ever happened twice more in history. Both years were during the Great Depression. So when you look at, and how we know is when we look at annual returns in the Dow for the last, since 1926, it's only happened 3 times. So what we had was the equivalent of a Halley's Comet moment in the stock market. Now, the difference is we know from all our research that Halley's Comet, it has regular returns. We know what the predicted path is. When it comes, we can map that out, through math, et cetera. We don't know that with the stock market. And because of this huge rise or huge return, and in addition, the market is up about 3,000 points since the beginning of the year. That's a pretty huge increase. And that has people a little bit nervous, thinking that there's going to be a big crash coming up, and there's a lot of talk, or somewhat a lot of talk, about bubbles in the market. Nobody that's actually following the data sees any bubble. So the important point is markets move based on news. You never know news ahead of time, unless sometimes you're in Congress, but we just don't know. So the markets are forward-looking always. So you have the market and you have the economy, 2 different things. Yes, the economy is influenced by monetary policy, tax laws, et cetera, but the market and the market moves are always going to be forward-looking into what they're, expecting next. So the flu vaccines were announced right about the time of the bottom of the market, which probably aided in the market returning so fast. There was a survey done on Twitter by a couple of CFA analysts, that's certified financial analysts, and very few people predicted that the market would recover within a year. So, I was optimistic because all of the numbers for the economy were good, plus the companies that are publicly traded were still in good shape. In fact, some made out very, very well. In retrospect, maybe we should have thrown a few $1,000s at Zoom or Amazon, things like that, because everybody is now working remotely. And, so it's been a very interesting year. But the point being is your portfolio allocations are specific to mitigating risks on the downturn. Yes, they're intended to capture the upswing and the up part of the market, but the downturn is what we're trying to prevent against. So when the market tanked so badly and went down about 39%, most people's portfolios only went down about 10 to 12%, which is really important because that's the roller coaster that you want to be on. Nobody wants to be down 30% or 40%. Now, if you have a longer term, you know, your timeline is longer. So you're in your 30s, 40s, obviously your timeline's longer. It doesn't really matter to you at that point. But if you're 60, give or take a few years, that 30 or 40% drop is not something you want to experience. And again, I must emphasize, no one knows. No one knew that was going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen next. So we have to build portfolios that are for the long term. And that's what we do with the diversification and allocation strategies. But again, we had a once in a generational event. Yes, if you happen to put your money in at the bottom of the market, you could probably sell some information on market timing, but not really, because most people cannot do it. It was pure luck, and it was kind of a crapshoot, you know, in the casino terms. So if you have any questions or any concerns about portfolio allocations, I encourage you to give us a call, make an appointment, because the biggest thing that I can help with is to help you be confident in what the overall allocation is and how it is supposed to perform, especially in kind of crazy markets, because I have a feeling we're going to see a couple more, not quite like we saw last year, but you know, it's inevitable when you're at 30,000, 33,000 in the Dow, you know, a 1 or 2% drop is just not a big deal. So it's important to have that perspective. That's just normal. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Have a great day.